This is just documentation about how to do some editing with PHP. I need to get at the php.ini file and find it on this new interface on Bluehost. So it is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day 2018. And I just sat on the chat line with the Bluehost tech people, and I just want to run through this, creating a document or documentation so I know how to go back to get there. I will forget when I need to know it. So starting at the login page for Bluehost, I drop into Advanced, which gives us the control panel. And this is the area where their documentation was not up to date. They were showing an older version of this, and actually the selections were different. So initially, my eyes were coming in on under databases. I kept looking at these PHP here, and then they had changed the names of what we need to do further on down here. They used to say programs or programming here. Now it says software. And I worked between the multi PHP manager. That's where you can set the version of PHP you want to run, and then from multi PHP dot or ini editor here, you can create and output a .ini. There was no .ini for PHP anywhere on here in my on the website. I'll go over to FileZilla here, and at first, when I was in the main directory for the site, when I came in here, you can see now there's a php.ini, and that's what I created. So if you go into the multi-PHP manager, we drop into here, and here it lists the different sites that I've created, and these three down below here are underneath the Bright Garden, or below the Bright Garden level, and you can notice that these were all at 7.0 of the PHP level. Okay, so I didn't need to do search, and what I can do is click on the brightgarden.com to select it, and that's where it becomes the focus of this window when you select which version to use. So you can click 5.4 here, and if I say apply, you'll notice that it trickles down through the sub accounts or the sub sites that I have already created here as inherited. Okay, so I suppose somewhere I might be able to bust that out if I needed to run PHP differently on the topmost site versus the other sites here. It looks like I have a feeling that maybe there's a configuration where I can change them individually. Right now it's set up so that they're inherited from the parent there. So I'm going to go back and select this and go back to 7.0, which was the default, hit apply, and that trickles through. So that's how you change that. Okay, so then let's go back one level. There's no real return here on this page to go back to where you were, so I'll try the back page. I'm always a little bit concerned about the continuity there of data and presence and whatnot. So anyway, so if we look under, that was the manager part. Then if you look under the INI editor, okay, so if we come back over here, you have to click which site you're interested in creating that for. So we're going to use breakgarden.com. Now, depending on what version of PHP you're using, we're at an age right now where there's different selects. You can select different versions of it, and there's like a normal default, there's a fast version, and then there's another version of it too. And I'm not sure, I still don't have to specify what level of options or features I want running even in 7.0 that I have picked there. So I'm going to click okay, let's see what the internals are for the brightgarden.com. The real push here was to find the .ini so I can edit it and put in the email account information I need so I can work with forms. That's Now this has taken me about a couple of hours searching around with Bluehost here, trying to find what I need. Very typical, right? How much time it takes to get. But right now, the default entries for the .ini are listed here. The directive, the PHP directive here, they don't have an exhaustive list of all the directives that you need to use or can use here. So this is a base case version of it, and it looks like you can just overwrite the version that might be there. Now, this could be interesting. What if I just change something here, and let's say we're going to disallow HTTP file uploads. I'm going to apply that, and now that will have overwritten the other .ini file. If we go back over to FileZilla and we take a look at, I'm going to refresh this view, hopefully. Okay, we'll come back to public.htm. If we look at the ini, it never gave me an error that I was overwriting the file, so I have to watch out for that. It says at 11 it's St. Patrick's Day at 11:54, and my time is about 11:54. I had done this a bunch of minutes ago, so we would have seen a difference there. So that PHP, you got to be careful of that overwriting. I just recognized that and might run into some problems with that. Okay, so we've got it back to what we wanted to. File uploads. We want to enable it, and I'm going to save that back out again. So that creates the new file. If we run back over here, let's just check to see, does it get updated? I have to do another check. Refresh the listing here. And now we can see that it did not change. 11:54. It's interesting. Doesn't look like it updated. I'm going to go right in there and delete it then. Let's try this. Just trying to discover what the behavior is with this. Yes. Okay, we'll get rid of that. And we're going to come back over here. I'm going to flip the upload option off. I'm going to apply. And I would think that that would drop a new INI file. Let's go back over here and see. I'm going to refresh really quickly here. And now 11:56. I might have just imagined it being something different. 11:56. It was probably about 11:56:40ish on the seconds. Yeah, that's it. 11:56:40. So it did update it. All right. So it's just going to overwrite these things. Got to be careful about that because I'm going to go in and hand edit this thing, and I don't want it to overwrite it anymore. But just to return it back to where it was, going to go back to enable that. Let's apply it once again. It does say successfully applied, so let's go back over and check the timestamp on that. And our current time would have been about 11:57, probably about 25 or something like that. Good enough. Okay, looks right. Okay, that's how you do it. I just wanted to show that for future posterity.